And here we go, the start list, Dean.
Yep, so as you can see there, the 14 athletes participating in the under 13 boys 1500 metre walk final. They're on the start line pretty much ready to go. Looking at some of the form, Joe Cross from South Australia has a PB of 6:58. We've also got Nicola Mandic of Victoria, who's got a 6:49. So they might be a couple of the athletes to look for. Nelson McCutcheon of Queensland has a 7:11. So they're on the line, almost ready to go. In this, the boys under 13 1500 metre walk final.
Of course, a couple of South Australians hold the Australian best performance. Craig Toppelwine from 1985, 6:22.10. And the meet records, David York, another South Australian, in 1994, 6:35.40. So anything under 7 minutes will be pretty competitive.
Riley Lodding from the ACT, his mum competed for Victoria in ALACs in Perth in 1984, so there's another bit of family trivia there as part of this particular event. We've just got one of the athletes just checking some of the rules. And also, we mentioned Joe Cross earlier, but he is the third sibling to compete at ALACs in the 1500 metre walk in his family. Anna from Hobart did it in 2012. His sister Bethany in Melbourne in 2014, and now Nicola in Adelaide 2016. So
they're away. 3
separate members of the family that have competed in this. So as we see, they are away in the boys under 13 walk. And it'll take them a little while to sort themselves out. But initially,
so Queensland are in the lead at this stage.
Looks like from the 2 New South Wales athletes, with South Australia, Victoria and Tasmania not far behind.
So just the 1500 metres for the youngsters to walk. Obviously, the seniors get in the senior ranks. You're walking the likes of 20, 50 kilometres like Jared Talon, of course, now crowned correctly Olympic champion. And in the lead, it is Nelson McCutcheon from Queensland. So he's the man in the lead at this stage. In second place is Martin Leerberg from New South Wales. And in third place, it's Jack McKinnison from New South Wales.
We've also got a little bit of a challenge from the South Australian, which is Noah Goldie by the looks of it. Oh, actually it's Joe Cross, sorry, who's just moved up into second place.
Well, the South Australians, a rich history in this event, of course, both holding the meet and Australian best performance. So they'll do something right over here, the South Australian walkers. Down the back straight, still the Queenslander.
McCutcheon.
In the lead.
He's probably got about a 2 metre break at the moment on Joe Cross from South Australia. Not far behind him's Nicola Mandic of Victoria. Probably a similar sort of gap. And then further back to the New South Wales competitors, Martin Leerberg and Jack McGinniskin at this point. It's tightening up at the front. We've still got McCutcheon in front, but Cross is coming up to challenge him. Not far behind Nicola Mandic as well, who's doing his best to work himself up onto that front pack as they come into the straight, and they'll come down to the line to get 2 laps to go.
No, go right, trackside, mate, go right on the edge.
So it's Cross who challenges on the outside and comes into the front straight and takes the lead. McCutcheon's not too happy to hand it over at the moment on the inside, but it is Joe Cross who moves to the inside and's now got a comfortable little lead. He's probably moved 2 or 3 metres ahead. McCutcheon in second place. Mandic in third. He's just kept his eye on the lead.
And very shortly, we're going to cross down to Abid, who's got an update. Abid, where are you?
I'm trackside, boys. So I'm right next to the action here at the walks.
Fantastic.
And we're seeing some future Jared talents and Claire talents, and Australian walking's in a really good state. So really excited to see the nationals here and see some of the best walkers in the country.
No doubt about it. And have you spotted any superstars out there? Who's the one to watch in this race?
Well, I'm actually watching all of them because I don't know how to walk myself. So that technique is something to behold. During the winter season in Little Athletics, we do road walks over long distance, and this is the summer culmination of their season on the track. So Little Athletes do walk on the road, and they do it on the track. So definitely admire how they do it.
And Abid, what's the highlight been for you today? You've been out there in the thick of things. What's really taken your eye?
My highlight has been just seeing some of these athletes getting PBs. They come all the way here. They work very hard. I work with the West Australian Association, so I get to see some of the background of what they do. And you really admire the people behind the scenes, the coaches, the team managers who lay the platform for these athletes to shine, and the officials. It needs a lot of people to come together to make championships like this happen. So well done to everyone, really.
And which state's going to win, Abid? Make a call. Which state is going to win?
I'll say NSW looking pretty strong by all the amount of trackside interviews I have to do with the athletes from New South Wales. They're looking pretty good right now for the Trevor Billingham Trophy.
No, fair call, Abid. We'll appreciate your input down there. We'll head back down to you shortly. But out there, it's Joe Cross in the lead, the local boy, South Australia. It'd be great to see one of the South Aussies take a gold medal here in front of his home crowd, and he's really starting to open up a good lead. The Victorian is in second, Nicola Mandic, and Joe Cross here is looking extremely smooth. He's got the hips moving, and he's getting the bell. So 1 lap to go. He's got around a 30-metre lead, and he's starting to extend. So the South Australian, Joe Cross, is looking good here. But the Victorian certainly won't be giving up, Dean. He's got plenty left in his tank as well.
No, Nicola Mandic's been right on the pace since the start. He's while Cross has been able to open up probably about a 6 or 7 metre gap. It's certainly not over yet. Mandic's trying to bridge that gap, and not far back to McCutcheon from Queensland as well, who's been right in the mix since the start. So Joe Cross is coming up with 300 metres to go. He's put the pedal down. It's Nicola Mandic from Victoria in second place. The gap is probably a little bit wider in the past 100 metres. It's probably out to about 10 metres now. So Joe Cross is moving away pretty tidily. As they'd say in this event, he's showing a clean pair of heels. Mandic's going to have to find a little bit because McCutcheon's not done with yet and is working up to about a 6 metre gap for the silver medal, and further back to the two New South Wales athletes, probably about 60 metres behind at this point. About 180 metres to go, and it's still Joe Cross. He's holding the gap pretty well, and he's actually found a bit as they've gone down the back street and onto the bottom turn.
This is big for South Australia, Dean. This is going to be a massive win for the South Aussies. I hope they get around him in the final straight, because this has been a pretty impressive effort by young Joe Cross.
Absolutely. Let's bring the local lad across the line. He's now skipped away to at least a 10-metre lead. It's still tight for second and third, but Joe Cross has absolutely been magnificent over the last 600 metres. He's now in the front straight.
He's smashed him.
He's got about 80 metres to go. It's on for the silver. Mandic's getting tired, and McCutcheon's fast approaching him for the silver. It's going to be a battle between those two, but it's still Joe Cross coming down to the line. He's probably still got around about an 8 to 10 metre lead over Nick McCutcheon from Queensland and Mandic from Victoria in third place. But a great win from Joe Cross. That's the first of the locals today to pick up a gold. Second was Nelson McCutcheon from Queensland, and third was Nicola Mandic of Victoria. Great effort from those three guys, but there's one for the locals.
Joe Cross, that's as professional as it gets. We'll hopefully get a bid down there to have a chat with the young man, Joe Cross, but that was super impressive.